So, purple, orange, green, these pen colours, what do you think of them? Is there any history behind them? Let's go and take a look, shall we? There are some pen colours we did not look into last time. So these colours are purple, orange, and also green. Now these give me real Halloween feels. So we've thrown the blue pens in the bin this time, and we're just going to concentrate on pens which give us those Halloween feels. I'm going to test these pens out again, and I'm going to see how they write with a free blank creative mind. If you like these pen colours, let me know in the comments. Let's start up another discussion. So the colour purple, often linked to royalty. So the royals used to use a lot of purple ink. Also, this stems back to the Phoenicians, back to the 16th century BC. The purple dye was made up of secretions from the sea snail known as the Balaenaris brandaris. This was a very rare secretion which was formed into this purple ink. This ink was so rare and expensive, it was often reserved for royals, priests and nobles. The extraction process was very labour intensive, and considering they needed to basically take the secretions of 200,000 snails just to produce 1 ounce of ink, you can see why it was so rare. Also, Caesars of Rome made purple their official colour, so they were the only people that were allowed to use it in ancient Rome. By 1850, the first synthetic dyes started being produced, and the purple colour ink was more widely used. Green ink has a rich history and finds its name within British journalism and also MI6 of all things. Green ink was also thought of as being used within ancient manuscripts also. The use of it within ancient manuscripts was basically to show something which was noteworthy or something special. In British journalism, green ink letter was synonymous with these letters they would receive, and they'll be very quirky, capitalised in very strange ways with lots of exclamation marks, and also tended to be very jokey and in some ways quite offbeat and quite left field. In the Australian Royal Navy, Admiral Fisher used green ink after finding out that Winston Churchill had monopolised red pencils and red ink for his minutes. Also, I said MI6. Well, apparently the head of MI6 was always known to use green ink. This is going back to the days of Mansfield Cumming, and he was a navalman. Also going back to medieval times, green ink was always linked to witches, ghosts and the devil. Also, the original US currency used varying shades of green ink to try and deter counterfeiting. Finally, orange ink. So you'd think orange ink is quite a new thing, but it goes back to prehistory. It goes back to prehistoric times. So orange ink or orange pigments were very much a thing in cave painting. A lot of the orange pigments could be created from the natural world. So things like ochres, all these were created from different elements, different substances, and actually was probably easier to create than a lot of the other ink colours. Again, orange, it wasn't until the 18th century when synthetic materials were found to actually start creating inks in this colour. So how do we feel when writing with these pens? I did my little test again with a blank mind, wrote down the first things that came into my head, but based it around a Halloween theme because these pens are all Halloween colours, aren't they? So first of all, purple ink. Purple ink makes me think of the dark, mysterious nights at this time of year, and for Halloween, the luxurious cloaks in velvet worn by witches and warlocks. So moving on to orange, this feels fun, bold and instantly pointing towards pumpkins and the many sweet and candy wrappers coloured this way. Green ink. Green always reminds me of the land and dark forests. During this time, it does make me think of ghosts and ghouls, even ectoplasm. As it's Halloween, we can't miss out 2 of the other colours which are used very heavily at this time of year. So red. Red is always the forbidden ink for me. Though what other colour can represent the blood-curling stories and blood-sucking vampires and monsters? Yeah, and obviously black. We've got to go back to black again, I'm afraid. Black, though a standard ink of choice against a clean, crisp white paper, it fills the mind with accuracy. Black also needs its place at Halloween to represent the scary pitch black corners and shadows. I hope this video gave you value, and if it did, please click on the like, click on subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. If you want to see more of my content, why not check out the video on blue and black pens here, and also one of my first tutorial videos on YouTube banners just here. Also, happy Halloween.